What is up, Facebook? And what is up, social media? As you guys know, I turned 35 yesterday. But yesterday was not the birthday I hoped for. These last 6 years were not the last 6 years that I had hoped for. You see, over the last 6 years, I've been a victim of terrorism, illegal entrapment, harassment, slander, stalking, and other various terroristic threats. For those that don't know the real truth about this troll community that I've dealt with for the last 6 to 8 years, allow me to explain to you not only the story of how this all got started, you see, 7 years ago, this guy named Music Biz Marty approached me on YouTube when I was doing a live stream with a former friend of mine that I used to work alongside doing music with. I used to produce for him. I used to collaborate with this dude. Did all kinds of stuff. Knew his family. Knew everybody, man. Like, his family was awesome. I love this dude to death, man. He was a great fucking dude. And me and him were doing a podcast that we ran at the time. And he had to work, so he had me take over. He had me take over because he had to work that day. And I'd already ran podcasts in the past. I had already done my own fair share of podcasts. So I knew what to do automatically. It was all good. He did his thing. I did mine. Let him know what went on when he got home from work. But during the podcast, there was this guy named Music Biz Marty that showed up in the live stream. And at first I took him as just a hater. Just took him as somebody just blow him off type stuff. And then I started seeing other people flood in, talking about how this dude's a fake, how this isn't the real Music Biz Marty. And at that time, I didn't know what was going on. So naturally, I looked into things. I naturally looked into things, and I seen that there was 2 different Music Biz Marty profiles. So I hit them up. I hit up the one that I figured was the real one. And I let this dude know, just out of being nice, just wanting him to know, like, hey, there's this dude that's pretending to be you. Not thinking anything, I was just being nice. And I later found out that is what would lead to me being fucked with. Well, the real Music Biz Marty, or the real Music Biz Marty, which they were the same person the whole time, but I didn't know, ended up saying, hey, thank you, yada, 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 I appreciate it. Hey, no problem, man. Do your thing, dude. And I went about my day. Went about my business. A couple years later, after everything goes down, I end up dating my now ex-girlfriend, Heather. Well, me and her were together at the time. And my ex, Candle, was faking her death. And, naturally that got this dude's attention again. So he started attacking me and doing this, doing that, saying like, oh, you're the reason why she's dead and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And that went on for about a year. And, I put all that to rest. I squashed it. I put it to bed, and I basically proved that I wasn't at fault for her supposed death. And I later found out from my buddy Paul at the time, who was my friend at the time, that Kendall has a history of doing this kind of shit. And then when she don't get her way, she goes and does some wild, crazy stuff. Everything from trying to run a police officer over to faking her death to doing all kinds of shit. Well, that all went down, like I said, and I shut her down for it. You know, I called her shit. I exposed her for being the fake that she is. Well, somewhere along that line, somewhere in that time frame, Music Biz Marty got a hair up his ass to try to make a pass at me when I was beefing with this dude at the time named Juggalo John. And this dude was one of those fake ass juggalos. I had issues with this dude in the past. Kind of blew him off as a whatever type deal. I ain't gonna give you the time of day, dude. You know, screw you. Well, this dude sat there, showed up around my area, showed he was in my area, and whatnot, on and off throughout the following weeks. He told me where to meet him. He told me to meet him down here at the youth center, at the community center. Alright, cool. No problem. And at that time, me and Kendall were dating, or not me and Kendall, but me and Heather were dating at that time. You know, hey, all good. You know, me and her were sitting there talking to a friend of ours named Jamie Nicole on the live stream, who I met through Heather. And we have become good friends with. Well, me and Heather were up on Jamie's panel just hanging out. Not bothering nobody, just chilling. When this Music Biz Marty dude made a pass at me. Now, when I say made a pass at me, I mean this dude literally tried to hit on me. And I didn't catch it. So, Heather muted us, put us both backstage. And she told me, she's like, hey, this dude just hit on you. What's up with that? And I was like, I don't know. Let me go check it out. And so we left the stream. And we were on our phone because it didn't show up at all. Like, this dude was like, oh, I didn't say there, I'm over here. Didn't show up or anything. But me, I showed up. Well, me and Heather were on the live stream, like I said, when Marty made that pass at me. So we hop off. I go back and I watch the live stream back. And I seen that he made a pass at me. And so we hopped back on, and I addressed it, and I gently turned him down. Told him, hey, look, I'm flattered that you see me that way, but I don't run that way. I'm not gay. I do support the LGBTQ plus community, though. My older brother was gay. Some of my best friends are part of the LGBTQ plus community. Support it 100%. Have no issues with it, but I don't roll that way. I am straight as a fucking arrow, dude. Like, I don't roll that way. And I told him this, and he was like, he kind of took it hard, I guess. But it is what it is. But that whole thing went down. Me and her hopped off. Well, little did I know that a couple years later, after me and her split, and she went back home, that things would get real bad real fucking quick. This dude had been devising behind the scenes a way to get back at me, to get revenge on me. And instead of doing the usual, like, oh, fuck you, like, hey, let's fight, let's set something up type shit, or doing something stupid to get back at me that wouldn't have gotten nobody in any kind of trouble. It just would have been, stupid shit that people would have forgot about a week later. Well, instead of doing that, this man did something that would forever change my life for the worst. In a lot of ways. But also, I did gain a lot of good stuff from it as well. But it was mostly bad shit that I gained. This man decided to hire a well-known, hated YouTuber at the time that I didn't know who she was. He decided to hire this chick named Astro Mafia. At the time, I didn't know who that was. Had no idea. He decided to hire her to get back at me in the worst way imaginable. That could ruin anybody's life. It could fuck up anybody's life pretty much for the rest of their life. This dude decided to have Astro Mafia use her daughter, her 15-year-old fucking daughter, to illegally entrap me. She sat right there, pretending to be of age. Tricked me into sending certain photos. And at the time, she was still claiming to be of age. And so, she tricked me into sending certain photos. I sent one to her. She sent one back. Later, little did I know that because of how shitty my phone was, my shit was slow as fuck. So, as my shit was sending, to her, she posted that she was underage. Right after I sent the photo, I put, okay, your turn. Referring to, hey, I sent you one of me now. It is what it is. Well, as I'm sending this photo, as it's going through and uploading, because like I said, back then, we didn't have very good internet. We had literally the bottom of the barrel, shittiest fucking internet you can have. Like what would normally take a person 5 to 20 seconds to upload a page, my shit was taking like 5 minutes to load up a page. So our shit was slow, which I didn't really have a problem with. It was what it was. I dealt with it. But as I'm sending this shit, she puts that she's underage. And my shit goes through right after that. Needless to say, that whole incident started a whole fucking fiasco. She started spreading that shit around like wildfire, saying that on this, on that. Even got police to come over here and check me out. Once I found out who this girl was, after I found out who she was, because one of my friends at the time found out who this chick was that had done it, let me know. So I went online, I did my research on her, found out who she was, pulled up her live stream where she was gawking and laughing and all this other shit about the fucking thing that she had just done. So I naturally showed the police as soon as they showed up. I showed them the evidence and they saw right through it. They were like, hey, like, you're not in any trouble. You just got to be careful who you talk to, because, like, clearly what they're doing is trying to set you up. Well, that whole incident sparked something that would forever fuck with my life for the rest of my life. These people sat there and began poking fun of me. And it started out with little stupid shit. It started out with the stupidest stuff that you could do. I'm talking, little stupid shit that isn't even really worth mentioning, really. Like, they would literally do the stupidest shit that you could think. Like, they would literally, like, post, like, snarky little comments and do this and do that, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. Alright, cool. Y'all want to sit there and, blow up my phone and act like badasses and act like a clown? Okay, I'm going to treat you like a clown. And I did that. I sat there anytime anybody would call in, I'd sit there and I'd roast the fucking shit out of them. Well, little did I know that between 2023 and 2025 this year would be the worst years of my life. Because between that time period, you had this psychotic dude named Tips TV that saw what was going on, decided he would try to do the same shit. Only this time I caught on, and I caught his friend trying to do shit. I sat right there and I called this motherfucker out. I sat right there on Discord or on fucking, I think it was like Instagram or some shit. And I called this dude out. When he tried to say that he was of age right up, or he was underage right up front, and continued to try to hit on me, I told this motherfucker, like, dude, I know you're not underage. You're a grown-ass adult. I'm not stupid. Like, I know your type. I've been around long enough to know. You're dumb as fuck if you think I'm falling for that shit. So, you being of age and not being underage, what is it you're trying to accomplish? Like, what are you trying to do? Well, this man sits here and continues to try to play that game. So, I sit down and I let Tibbs know, like, hey, this Wings 007 dude is over here trying to pretend to be underage when he's really of age. And then what does this dude do? What does Tips TV do? He sits right there, turns his back on me, and starts attacking me for no reason. When I'm literally right here telling this man, showing this dude the evidence of this guy trying to illegally entrap me again. And I sit there and I tell this dude, like, yo, this dude pretended to be underage. I caught him in the act. You need to fucking get rid of this guy. Because at the time, I was good friends with Tips TV. I was really good friends with the dude. This man had my back when a lot of people didn't. This dude actually was a good fucking dude right off rip. One of the nicest people I can ever meet. Turned out to be the world's biggest. As soon as it was convenient for him, he turned his back. And so, we get past that situation. And I started getting back into it with Marty because Marty's over here trying to fuck with me, fuck with my family, and do all this shit. You know, he's really trying to pull some scumbag stuff. And somehow, don't know how he did it, still can't to this day figure out how he did it. This dude managed to get a hold of my dad that raised me. Not my biological father that I have nothing to do with, but my adoptive dad. The one that helped to raise me when I was a kid. Well, he somehow or other got him on stream. And at that time, my dad was talking a lot of shit. So I went up there and I confronted him. And for me at the time, it wasn't about, whether I was giving the trolls what they wanted. Nah, I was up there confronting my old man. I went up there to confront my old man. So I sat there and I'm confronting my dad and I'm calling him the fuck out on his shit. Well, that whole thing goes down. He basically ends up disowning me. And at the time, I didn't know what to do, didn't know what to think, didn't know how to feel. I had no clue. I had no idea. Well, that whole thing went down. And I took it as it was. Hey, you don't want to be in my life no more, that's cool. It is what it is. Did it upset me and hurt me? Yeah. It really did. On a very much deeper level than what people realize. But it was what it was. So I let it go. Well, a couple weeks roll by. Tips TV sees this shit going on and decides to devise a plan to blackmail me. He sat there and lied right to my face. And he was like, yo, like, there's something I want you to do. I want you to, sit down and talk to me about what happened. Well, he sat there and we talked. And, at the time, I was like, hey, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones, Hey, you want to talk and work shit out? Cool. I'm okay with that. I'm all for giving somebody a second chance. I really am. I'm all for it. If he did something shitty to me that ain't too bad, then, I can forgive you. And what he did wasn't too bad. So I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, let's talk. Let's work shit out. So we ended up talking. And little did I know this motherfucker was live streaming the entire fucking time. Little did I fucking know this motherfucker was lying through his teeth and live streaming the whole time. Because I asked him a couple times, like, bro, you live streaming right now? And he kept on saying no. Well, me and him get on the subject of Wings 007. And I end up telling him, like, bro, like, you literally have it all backwards. The shit with, Mastro Mafia, all these fake ass fucking, kids that I was supposedly talking to that I wasn't fucking talking to. He had it all fucking backwards. And I'm trying to explain to this dude what's going on. Well, this motherfucker gave me two options that broke me to the core. That fucking destroyed me. That no man, no person on earth should ever have to go through. This man sat right fucking there and turned my own dad against me in the worst fucking way. He didn't just get him on panel or anything like that to talk to him. No, this man sat right there and basically got my dad to tell him that they wanted to try to sue me for defamation of character and slander, all because I was telling the truth about what the fuck I went through when I was down in Florida back in 2014 visiting. Because not gonna lie, I had a very bad experience down there. I was not okay with it. The way that him and his fucking wife treated me were shitty as fuck. And I spoke on that. And I've been open and vocal about that because I don't hide shit like that. Well, he sat right there and told me, one, you are on live stream. And two, I'm giving you two options right now. You can either admit to me or I can have your dad sue you and I'm going to help him do it to make sure that you get sued for everything you got. And at the time, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, to me, it was more like a stab in the fucking back. Like, bro, you wanted to talk so we can be friends again. And here you are stabbing me in the fucking back. Like, that shit hurt. But for you to sit there and turn my own dad against me and use him as leverage, that fucking broke me. Because I didn't want to go to court against my own dad. Because even though my dad's an asshole, I still respect and love my dad. Always have, always will. And I could not bring myself to want to go to war with my dad in court. And I fucking fully broke down because that hit deep. That hit me deeper than anybody could ever possibly understand. And so I figured by giving the dude what he wanted, that he would eventually go away and leave me alone. So I gave old boy what I wanted, what he wanted. I called myself what he wanted me to call myself. Not because I believed it, but because I wanted this motherfucker to leave me alone. Because I didn't want to go to war with my own dad. I didn't want to have to face my dad in court. Like, that fucking broke me right there. Because like I said, even though my dad's a piece of shit asshole, he was still in the military. I still love him. God knows I still love him to death. And I still have nothing but the utmost fucking respect for that man, for what he's done to help serve our country and to help my family when I was a kid. You know, that man is the very reason why I still hold the military values so tightly to this day. He is the very soul and very reason as to why I still believe in the old school military ways. And I can tell you right now, if I ever have a son, I'm going to be fucking raising my son the exact same way. I believe in right from wrong. I believe in instilling that mentality of, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat yourself and your family and your people around you with the proper respect that you deserve and that they deserve. I believe in yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. I believe in that. Always have, always will. Because that's who I am as a person. Now, granted, I might not say it a lot to my mom or my stepdad or whatever, but if I'm out in public, I'll shake somebody's hand, say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. That's how I am. That's how I was raised. Well, that whole thing goes down, and that whole thing spirals out of fucking control. But fast forward to between last year and this year, shit got ramped up to a very violent level. And it started out with little things. Like, they started doing little things, like stealing stuff off our porch, having shit mailed to our house, you know, like having a crap ton of cement mailed to our house and whatnot. Having all that mailed to us, which, knock on wood, we ended up just taking that cement and turning around and reselling it at the Home Depot. But it started with little shit like that. But then they decided to ramp up the ante and make it even worse. They started sending people over to my house. And I don't mean just like, you know, random Craigslist people or shit. No, like, they literally started sending male strippers over to my house. And we would, you know, tell these people off and tell them to go away, that there ain't nobody here for that. But little did I know that shit would get real dark real fast over between 2023 and this year. Because there was one point in 2023 where I was speaking on my ex Candle during the live stream because people wanted to know what the deal was because they didn't know. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking about this shit, and I know that I'm going back to 2023 from it, but there's a reason. You'll understand why. I'm sitting there talking about the whole shit with Candle, how she faked her death, and how she was as a person. And needless to say, she's not a very good person at all. She's shitty as fuck. She'll do pretty much whatever she can to get her fucking way, even if it means lying through her goddamn teeth to law enforcement. She don't care. She's the kind of person that will run over a fucking police officer with an RV and try to escape being put in prison, which she has done. She has done that before. But I'm sitting there talking about it, and I hear a loud pop in the background. And me, at the time, I had my bed sitting back there, and I had, like, my dresser right there where it's at now. So I'm thinking, like, you know, hey, maybe something fell, hit the bed, and, you know, either fell back behind and hit the windowsill or fell on the floor and hit the floor. Didn't think anything of it. Next day, a good buddy of mine ends up messaging me, like, right when I get on. And at this point, I'm not even halfway awake yet. I hadn't even had my coffee yet, dude. Like, I just woke up. So I pulled up his message. I went down to grab me a cup of coffee as I pulled his message up. And I come back up, I sit down, I take a drink of my coffee while I'm sitting there flipping through TV, seeing what's on. Because at the time I had my Xbox, and that's how I watch TV. I would always, pull up, whatever I was watching or whatever. So I'm sitting there, pulling the TV up, watching, TV on my Xbox. Because at the time, like I said, when I had Xbox and shit, I pulled it up and sat there and watched. So as I'm sitting there watching, I'm reading this message, and it said, dude, go back and look at your stream. Somebody shot at you through your window. Go back and look at the footage. And I'm thinking in my head, what footage is this guy talking about? Like, what is this dude talking about? Is it from like last night, a couple of days ago? Was it a video I did? Was it a live stream I did? Like, what was it? So I go back and I look. And sure as fucking shit, I see where my fucking blanket pops up in the air as soon as you hear that fucking pop. So I sit there, I screen record the video footage from that night. I go back, I record it on my phone, I record that shit, save it, just in case. So after I'm done with that, I go pull out the mattress and the bed like fully away from the wall because my bed's on wheels. So it's easy to pull away from the wall. So I pull it away from the window. I look down at the windowsill, and there's literally a hole about that big going through the windowsill where the bullet knocked through the damn windowsill, and a fucking bullet hole about that fucking big in my fucking mattress. So I grab a photo of the mattress and of the windowsill, and I take the footage downstairs, show my mom the footage, show my mom the photos. We call our landlady out. She calls police. They come out, do their thing, whatever, and then leave. All right, cool, whatever. But that whole thing went down with that. That's one of the many things that they did that ramped it up. And that's where it started. Well, between last year and this year was literally the worst. These motherfuckers have done everything from show it to my neighborhood to harass me. Music Biz Marty, he showed up at the time around March of last year to fuck with me. Ended up beating me to almost half to death. That whole thing went down. But nothing would ever prepare me for what happened this entire year. This entire year was one of the worst years of my life. You see, these guys had started doing bomb threats on my house shortly after, me and Kira had split. For all y'all that don't know, yes, I do have an ex named Kira. Me and her dated, and I'm not gonna get into that shit right now, even though it is kind of important. I'm not gonna get into that whole thing. That's a whole other subject for a whole other video. But these guys literally threatened to bomb our house, threatened to destroy our house. And at the time, they had dropped jars of paint on our house from drones many times by this time. And we didn't know what was going on. We're like, yo, why are these people dropping jars of paint on our house? It's fucked up. Well, they sat there and literally threatened to bomb my family's house. So me and my family packed up what little shit we had. We left for like 2.5 hours to get away from shit until we got the all clear to come back. But nothing would ever prepare me for what they've been doing recently. You see, around March, they had done something very fucked up. They had destroyed my computer by placing a virus in it when a friend of mine tried to help me repair it to fix it to where we could kick these people out of my PC because we knew they were in my PC. We knew it. So we were trying to kick them out. And so we did that, which activated what they did. They had planted a virus that made it to where my computer now turns on, but I don't get signal from the motherboard or the graphics card to the monitor at all. Like, there's literally a virus in there that me or my family cannot get out. And I'm the tech guy of the family, dude. Like, I'm the dude that can take apart a computer and put it back together blindfolded, no problem. I can literally sit there and make a fully functioning website that's self-updating in under an hour, easily. I've done it before. It's not hard to do when you know what you're doing. So I'm sitting there going through all the routines, trying to figure out why this thing ain't turning on. And eventually I just gave up. Well, what they've done recently far exceeds anything that could ever, be even remotely okay on paper. Around this time last year, somebody decided it would be cute to throw a brick through the windshield of my mom's Kia, destroying the brick itself. Like, it destroyed the brick, it broke it in half, but the brick was still in the windshield, cracked it entirely to where we had to spend our Christmas money that we were saving for Christmas to get it repaired. And not only that, but these people recently have been stealing from me, committing copyright infringement towards me and my family, harassing my family as if it's some sort of joke. They even went as far as making a Facebook group called Chance Wilkins is a Child Predator with currently a total count of 7.5K members. This dude, John, who is Marty's brother-in-law, from my understanding, because y'all don't know, Music Biz Marty did die back in like April, May-ish of this year from a fentanyl overdose. Well, John, Marty's brother, thought it would be cute and funny to try to steal an anime series that I had been working on since 2012. And then when I finally got the ability to be able to confront this guy on Discord, he then pulls out a, flashes it, puts it away. Me and CI we get a screenshot of it, we save it. And then tonight this man tries to do the same thing, but he was smart about it this time. He quickly flashed a real pistol on his live stream, and then quickly hid that shit. He switched it out for a fake one with an orange tip. And I'm just like, dude, whether it's real or not, it don't matter. You're still flashing a weapon that can still be considered dangerous. Well, not only have they done that, these people have been threatening to burn down my house. Just a couple weeks ago, they ended up in the middle of the night when me and my family were asleep. Somebody came over and took a fucking blowtorch to my family's van in an attempt to turn it into a bomb. And then just the other day, they did the same thing with an Xbox. Somebody had pretended to be a fan and sent me a brand new Xbox thinking, like, hey, I'm sitting there thinking, cool, like, I'm going to be able to game out with my friends again. That's great. Awesome. I'll be able to hang out with my friends again, play video games, do my thing, and not have to worry about people, not have to worry about the trolls. Well, I'm on the phone with a buddy of mine talking about some ideas that we had in mind for some shit and everything like that. And I'm sitting there talking to the man, hooking my Xbox up, getting everything plugged in. I get everything plugged in. I go to plug it in. There's a fucking spark about that big fly out the back of the Xbox and shorted our entire fucking thing. Shorted our house entirely. For about 5 to 10 minutes, we were without power. It literally almost entirely fried our breaker box. Almost fried it completely. Which we still have that Xbox too. Like, we still have it. It's put up. And not only have they done that, they have sent a kill stick device disguised as a JTAG. And if you don't know what a JTAG stick is, essentially what a JTAG stick is it's almost like a jailbreak for an Xbox. Alright, you take it, you plug it into your Xbox, and you jailbreak it to where you have all the games for that specific console for free without needing to obtain any money, without needing a disc. You literally have the entire library right there at your disposal. I go to plug it in, it shorts out my Xbox. Both of them, actually. But these are the kinds of things that these people have done. They've also done stuff such as breaking into my family's bank account, stealing over $2,500 from my mom's bank account. They have stolen all my YouTube content that I've made over the last 10 years. Completely stole all that. And anytime I go to copyright strike them, they sit there and they say that I'm a paid actor or I'm a paid person when I'm not. I don't associate with these guys. I want nothing to do with these people, period. But the fact that these people have been ramping shit up to being more and more dangerous, it needs to fucking stop. It really does. Because I don't know if a lot of y'all notice this or not. Some of you might notice it if you guys got a keen enough eye. Some of you might not notice it. Well, if y'all haven't noticed, over the last 6 years, I have been physically sick on and off. And in and out of the hospital on and off for the last 6 years due to stress from these people. Because of these people doing everything that they've done, I now suffer from PTSD, anxiety, depression. I have panic attacks anytime we go anywhere. I constantly get nervous very fucking easily. Like, anytime we're going anywhere, I'm constantly, looking around to see if we're being followed or not, because we have been followed before. Like a couple years ago when I went to court, after I was wrongfully arrested for defending my family and my home, I went in and out of court for about 4 to 6 months. Went through all that and found out we were followed. And just a few months ago, me and my family went to visit my aunt and uncle. They came down because my uncle's got cancer. And we don't know how much longer he has left to live. So my family said, fuck it. And we took my uncle out to eat. Well, the trolls found out where we were going to eat and followed us. And the reason I found out that somebody had followed us because I took a picture of myself for, actually genuinely happy for the first time in a long time. A very long time. I was actually genuinely happy. I was smiling, hanging out with family, having a good time. Well, as soon as I posted that photo up, trolls figured out where we were, found out their info, found out my family's info of where we were at. So this dude comes in, starts watching us. Didn't think anything of it at the time. It is what it is. I get home, I find out who this motherfucker is. But that's what these guys do. They follow my family, they harass us, they attack us, and they do anything they can to, fuck with me and my family. And quite frankly, I'm getting fucking tired of it. People have this image of me that I'm this awful person, when really I'm not. People have this image of saying that I'm this, I'm that, I'm blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, no, I'm not. Like, we've had FBI out here. We've had Adult Protective Services out here. We've had literal detectives. We've had local law enforcement. And I've showed every branch of law enforcement everything. And they all say the same thing, that I'm not that I was set up in a very wrong way. And that what these people did is highly illegal. So why people continue to call me this, call me that, I don't get it. Because I'm not out here talking to little kids. I'm not out here doing whatever people think I'm doing. If anything, I sit here, I work on my anime shit. I work on my artwork. I hang out with my friends. I game out as much as I can in the way that I can currently. And I mind my own business. And another thing these people do too that's very illegal is anytime anybody tries to help me out, and I do mean anytime anybody tries to help me out, these trolls go after them. Attacks their families, their friends, their job, you name it. If you ask me, that's not a fucking troll. That's the makings of a goddamn terrorist. So why these motherfuckers haven't been arrested yet or shut down is beyond me. But because of these people, I've lost out on 6 to 8 years of my life that I'll never get back. My life has been forever changed in a way that I don't know if I'll ever fully be able to recover from. I mean, I'd like to think that I could recover from it. I'd like to think that I'd be able to move on from it and lead a normal life again and not have to worry about shit. I really would. I would love for that. But in order for that to happen, this terrorist group needs to be shut down. Because what these people are doing is fucked up, wrong, vile, and quite... What the fuck? Man, quite frankly, it's stupid. What these people are doing is fucked up. It's not cool. It's not okay. And right there, what y'all just seen, that was literally how I act. Any little noise I hear, I'm looking. Any slightest noise that sounds out of the ordinary, I'm looking back over my damn shoulder. That's literally a prime example of what that is. what just happened is a prime example of what I deal with every day. And all I'm going to say is this, that support what these people do, that support the terrorism of people that really ain't bad people, that support the harassment of people that look different, that want to sit there and use people for views, for clicks, for likes, all because you think they're an easy target. That makes you just as much of a piece of shit as they are. But to anybody out there that can help and would like to help, you can hit up my friend's CIA home. You can hit up my friends that are close to me. And they will give you the ways to contact me. Or, because I am banned for 7 days from messaging on here, if you guys would like to and you want to help, you're more than welcome to send me a message and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But yo, we got to start doing better, y'all. Because what these people are doing is not okay. It's putting families in danger. It's putting lives at risk. It's putting me at risk, my family at risk, and my friends. And this whole terrorist shit of people going on live streams and flashing guns, acting like they're untouchable when they're not, needs to stop. I have seriously had it up to here with the fucking bullshit. You know, people can sit there and call me all the names you want. That shit don't bother me no more. It really don't bother me. But this shit needs to stop. People deserve to live normal lives. And me, I want to get back to a normal life again. Because like I said many times, before 2017, I had a normal life. I really did. And I know what women are going to say, like, oh, you didn't have a normal life. Yeah, I did, dude. Yes, the fuck I did. I had a more normal life than most. I wasn't bothering nobody. I had the woman of my dreams that I had dated on and off since high school. You know, I was dating my high school sweetheart. My music career was getting off the ground. All that shit. So yeah, I did have a normal life and I'd like to get back to a normal life. But in order to do that, for all y'all that do want to help, I'm going to need y'all's help. So if you are actually interested in actually helping and you're serious, and I mean dead serious about helping me out to shut this shit down and getting me and my family back to a normal life and getting these people in trouble for the shit they've been doing, hit up my friends. They will add you to a group chat separately from what we're doing in our own private lives. And we will work something out. We'll figure something out. So if y'all do want to help, y'all can hit up my boy CIA hole. Y'all can hit up my boy anytime. And, you know, let's get in contact. Let's do shit. Let's get this shit shut down before anybody else gets hurt, y'all. Because nobody deserves this shit. Not me, not nobody. Unless, of course, you're somebody like Chris Chan, who has actually done vile fucking shit. Like fucking mom. Then I can understand it. But the shit with me, the shit with my friends and my family, this shit needs to stop, dog. It's old. Like, we need to start doing better, y'all. Like, this whole trolling shit, it's gone on for way too long and it needs to stop. So like I said, to anybody out there that wants to help put a stop to this shit, that actually wants to see me do better in life, that wants to see me succeed and get back to a normal life, and wants to prevent this from happening to anybody else, hit up myself, hit up my boy CIA Hole, and we will get back to y'all as soon as possible, man. But with that being said, y'all, I'm about to pass out for a few hours. I just thought I'd pop up on here and speak about this because it's about damn time the truth got said. Because there's been too much, misinformation being spread. So I figured I'd come on here and tell the real fucking truth about everything. That way there's no misinformation. There's no bullshit. It's clear cut. You guys know what's going on. You guys ain't being lied to. You guys ain't being jerked around. You guys don't have to listen to what all is out there on the internet, because half what's out there on the internet is fucking pure ass bullshit anyway. It's all fake ass fucking garbage. So, if y'all do want to help, man, hit up my boy CIA. Hit me up. And like I said, you guys have to be serious about this. If you guys are serious about helping me and my family out, helping me out with me and my family, hit me up, let me know, and let's figure something out, because this shit needs to stop. Because I want to get my life back to normal. I'm 35 years old. I want to live a normal life again. I want to be able to do shit I used to do without being scared, without being in alert of fear, without having to worry about my life constantly being at risk. I deserve it. My family deserves it. My friends deserve it. I deserve to live a normal life, and so do they. So, with that being said, I'll get at y'all later on, and I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace.